The information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Listening to this podcast does not create an attorney-client relationship with Foyle Legal. For advice tailored to your situation, please consult a qualified legal professional. Welcome to Personal Injury Claims Explained by Foyle Legal, your trusted source for understanding personal injury claims in Western Australia. Each week, we simplify complex legal issues, from motor vehicle accidents to workplace injuries, so you can confidently navigate your rights and claim the compensation you deserve.
Okay, so let's say you're in a situation where you might need a lawyer. That's something a lot of us have probably thought about. Maybe you've had an injury.
Yeah, and the thought of all those legal fees, it's enough to make anyone hesitate.
Exactly. But then you hear about this no-win, no-fee thing.
Right, like it's some kind of magic solution, which here in Australia kind of has been a game changer for a lot of people.
Totally. But like most things, it's not always as straightforward as it sounds, right?
You got it. There's definitely more to it than meets the eye.
And that's why we're doing this deep dive. We're looking at this article from Foyle Legal. They're a personal injury law firm over in Perth.
They really lay it all out there.
They do. It's called No Win, No Fee for Injuries Explained. And it's really insightful. They use this phrase, conditional legal cost agreement, which sounds kind of scary, to be honest.
Yeah, legal jargon. Gotta love it, right? But really, it just means there are certain conditions that need to be met. It's basically a contract like any other, but the fee depends on the outcome of your case. And that's where it gets a bit tricky because winning can be open to interpretation.
So it's not always about, like, literally winning in court.
Exactly. Sometimes a win could be reaching a settlement outside of court or even just getting the other party to admit they were in the wrong.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about this black and white victory. It's about getting some sort of resolution.
Exactly. But, and here's the kicker, what actually counts as a win can differ depending on the law firm and the agreement itself.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
Not at all.
Yeah.
That's why understanding those specifics is so important. And it's not just about what a win looks like. It's also about what that fee actually covers.
Because most people hear no fee and think they're totally off the hook financially.
I can see why people would think that, right? But if you look at the article, it explains that the no fee part usually just covers the lawyer's time, their actual work on your case, like their hourly rate, essentially.
But like you were saying, there's often way more to a legal case than just the lawyer's time.
Oh, absolutely. You might have court fees to pay or need expert reports.
Right, like medical reports, or what if you need to bring in an expert witness, things like that.
Exactly. And the article lists those as separate expenses, these disbursements, and they can really add up.
So even if you win your case.
You could still be on the hook for those extra costs. It's important to be aware of that going in.
Okay, so it's not as simple as just winning or losing. You really need to have those upfront conversations about any potential costs.
Exactly. It's all about transparency, making sure everyone's on the same page.
So important.
Hmm.
Now, let's imagine I'm in this situation, considering this no win, no fee route for maybe, let's say, personal injury. What are some key things I should make sure I'm clear about with the lawyer before I sign anything?
You're asking all the right questions. The article actually gives some great advice on this. First and foremost, nail down that definition of a win. Don't be afraid to ask, what exactly constitutes a win in my specific case?
Right. It could be a certain amount of money in a settlement, or like you said before, even just an admission of fault.
You got it. And on top of that, remember all those extra costs we talked about?
Right, the disbursements.
Exactly. It's crucial to be crystal clear about those. Who's responsible for those costs? Are they separate from the lawyer's fees?
Even if I win the case.
Exactly. It's all there in the fine print. You want to make sure there are no surprises down the line.
Right. Because even though the lawyer's fee might depend on winning the case, there could be all these other costs that don't.
You've hit the nail on the head. And that's why it's so important to be aware of these things.
This has been super eye-opening already. We're really starting to understand the ins and outs of this no-win, no-fee world. But we're just getting started. We've got a lot more to uncover about how this all plays out, especially here in Australia, so don't go anywhere. Okay, so we're back and ready to dig even deeper into this no-win, no-fee thing. We've talked about how it can be a little more complicated than it sounds at first.
Yeah, it's not quite as simple as just, oh, if I don't win, I don't pay, right?
Right. But even with all these nuances, it's had a massive impact, especially here in Australia.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's basically changed the game for legal representation, especially when it comes to personal injury cases.
And our friends at Foyle Legal, they have a whole list in this article about the types of cases where no win, no fee is common. We're talking workers' compensation, car accidents, even those public liability situations.
Right. Like if you trip and fall somewhere and hurt yourself,
Yeah.
it's all about making sure everyone has access to legal help no matter their financial situation.
Exactly. And I feel like that really aligns with Australian culture, right? Like everyone deserves a fair go.
100%. It's about leveling the playing field, making sure everyone has a chance at justice. But, and this is important, the article does mention there's a bit of a catch.
Okay, yeah, the catch.
Yeah.
You got to tell me, what is it?
Well, it's not really a gotcha moment, you know? It's more like you just need to be aware of the details. Think of it like buying a car. You wouldn't just sign the paperwork without knowing all the terms and conditions.
Oh, heck no. You got to know the interest rates, the loan terms, all that stuff.
Exactly. A no-win, no-fee agreement is similar. You got to understand the fine print before you jump in.
Okay, so if I'm thinking about going down this road, what are some questions I should ask?
Well, we already covered a big one, which is defining what winning actually means in my specific case. That's crucial. But the article also recommends digging a little deeper. Like, what is the lawyer's hourly rate? Is there some kind of cap on their fees?
Because those things could affect what I end up paying, even if I do win the case.
Exactly. And then there are those disbursements. Remember those? Those extra costs.
Right, like the medical reports, court fees, expert witnesses.
Exactly. It's really important to be clear about who's paying for those. Are they separate from the lawyer's fees?
So even if I win, I might still be responsible for some costs.
Potentially, yes. It all comes down to the agreement you make with your lawyer. Transparency is key. You don't want any surprises down the line.
Right, you want to make sure you're on the same page from the start. So it's not really no win, no fee. It's more like no win, no lawyer fee.
That's a good way to put it. And that's exactly why understanding the details is so crucial. You really want to avoid any nasty surprises down the road.
Totally. So choosing the right lawyer is like extra important in these situations.
100%. You want someone who's not just competent, but also communicative. Someone who's willing to explain everything in plain English. Someone who encourages you to ask questions.
Something you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
Like, this is a big deal, right? It's my life, my situation. I need to trust that this lawyer is looking out for my best interests.
Exactly. It's about feeling empowered, not pressured or overwhelmed. You have the right to understand every step of the process. And a good lawyer will make sure that happens.
Love that. And this is why we do what we do here on the Deep Dive, right? We're all about giving you the information you need to make informed decisions.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, after all.
100%.
I feel like we've really gone in depth, you know?
We definitely have. From those first, what does this even mean? Questions, all the way to the nitty-gritty of contracts and costs.
Hopefully our listeners are feeling a lot more clued up.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So let's do a quick recap for everyone. Imagine you're in a situation, you're thinking about taking legal action, maybe a personal injury case, but you're worried about the cost. What are the key things to remember about this whole no win, no fee thing?
Well, first and foremost, it can be a real game changer. Like we talked about, it's all about accessibility, making sure everyone has a chance to get legal representation.
Exactly. It's about leveling that playing field. Right. But, and I feel like this is super important to emphasize, it's not about taking advantage. It's not like a free pass.
Exactly. It's still a legal agreement. You need to be aware of what you're signing, just like any other contract, really. So don't be afraid to ask those questions. What's the definition of a win in your specific situation? Are there any extra costs you might be responsible for?
It all comes back to being informed.
Yeah.
But don't just rely on those catchy slogans.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's where choosing the right lawyer is so important. Find someone who's transparent, who you feel comfortable with, who's willing to explain everything in plain English. Make sure you're on the same page.
Exactly. You want someone who's going to be in your corner, who you can trust. Like, this is a big decision. You want to feel confident about who you're working with.
Absolutely. So, to sum it all up, no win, no fee can be an amazing tool for getting justice. But you've got to go in with your eyes wide open, do your research, ask questions, and find a lawyer you trust.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's a wrap on another deep dive. Till next time, stay curious, folks.
Thank you for listening to Personal Injury Claims Explained by Foyle Legal. We hope this episode helped clarify your rights and next steps in your injury claim. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and visit foylelegal.com for more useful information. See you next time.